Well, good afternoon, guys. This is Smart Dog School, and we are here with Tank today. Shelby and I are going to show a quick educational video on how we at Smart Dog School condition a dog to accept a muzzle. Everybody knows a little bit about Tank. Tank came to us from the Gallatin County Animal Shelter, and he has had, and being silly again, he has had numerous issues such as dog-on-dog aggression. He's also had some issues with his kennel, not necessarily liking any type of restraint whatsoever. And more recently, we've been conditioning to accept his food as his reward, which we're not really conditioning, but the food drive has grown. So now we're taking the marker, which is the clicker, and actually introducing it to the site of the muzzle, and then hopefully we can transition that into the feeling of a muzzle. Recently we've conditioned him to accept a transitional leash, which is a lot like a muzzle, so this should go a little bit easier than most, so we're going to see. So we'll go ahead and get started. So we're going to be using peanut butter as a reward. A lot of people like to use that when they're conditioning a muzzle, but the first step is going to be the site of the muzzle is going to equal the click, and then we build the criteria from there. There we go, and he's taking food, so that shows that the stress level's down to a minimum. You ever start doing this and the dog simply won't take the food? Just call it off right there and go do something else, come back later. It's going to say that their arousal level's too high, okay? Three stages that, I shouldn't say stages, but three concepts that allow clicker training to progress at a real quick pace. And Bob Bailey said it best. It's the criteria that you set, so what exactly you're clicking for. It's the rate of reinforcement, so how often you're actually feeding, so how much you're feeding, and the timing. The timing's most critical. It's when you capture that moment that you want to increase in probability, you click and you reward. And learning theory states that it's going to get stronger. So we're building a behavior much like we build a muscle here, okay? So any type of orientation to this muzzle, we're going to click and reward. The idea behind it is that he's going to be able to put his nose voluntarily in the muzzle to have it taking off for the click, okay? That's where we're headed to. So each step forward gets, the probability grows that he's going to try something new. So the process is known as shaping, okay? If you might look it up, it's successive approximation. It's basically going step by step by step, okay? Perfect. Any look into that muzzle equals a click, okay? And you can't see on camera, but we have another dog working right behind. So Tank's association with other dogs, not necessarily being social in himself, so not really accepting a lot of dogs are going to play. His acceptance of them's gotten a lot better. So without flooding too hard, we don't want to push that far. You know, his new home very well may not have any dogs in it at all, which would be great, but when he passes them on leash, we have to make sure that he's going to be, number one, less reactive, but number two, if the owners want to utilize protection such as a muzzle for both the dog and the other dog and the human, we got to make sure he's not going to act like a crazy dog on the end of the leash and pull him down the street, or worse, do alligator rolls or whatever it is they can do. So he's doing a lot of check-ins with Shelby now. He keeps looking up and looking up. You guys can't see it from here, but when we got him in, a lot of his reactivity happened when his pupils would like turn into saucers and dilate. His pupils are perfect now. He's more relaxed now. He does have a skin irritation. He itches a lot, so we've been keeping an eye on that. But his arousal level goes up really, really quick. So with the clicker, we were worried that maybe it would go up too fast, but that hasn't been the case. So.
Come on.
All right, going after touch here. He's very vocal, guys. Good. Good. See him hourly reaching to grab that. Awesome. Guys, if you're a process trainer versus a product trainer, you're going to absolutely love watching this. because some people would look at this and say this is like watching paint dry, but to process trainers, this is by far the best part. Short of any other addiction, this is one of my favorite things to do. Good. When they actually start to stick their nose in, that's priceless, guys. Hopefully we can get there in this session. If not, we're not going to push it. We'll come back later. So a huge importance when clicker training is not to lump. So you want to split. So you want to split behaviors down by gradually increasing the criteria, not lumping a lot of the expectations or a high criteria in when you should have taken it slower. So I guess at Smart Dog School you can call us splitters instead of lumpers. If that makes any sense whatsoever. You expect me to play with you, Eddie? There we go. Yeah, he is. The wheels are turning and oh, there we go. Good job. So a lot of people actually, when they build behaviors like this, they want to put cues on it. So they want to cues, commands, however you want to word it. The actual presence of the muscle or of the muzzle is its own cue. So when it means at the end, go ahead and put it on. It's like when we teach place, you know, a lot of times we want to say the word place or go to your spot or whatever, but simply laying it out there is going to tell them that that's a visual cue and a boundary to go get on. Much like this is. The fact that she held it out just gives him the opportunity to make a choice. Either I'm going to react to it by touching it, put my nose in it, whatever, or I'm going to avoid it, which is kind of what he did there. Every now and then you'll see that. We've trained him up until now. We've used some obedience and some behavioral training mixed in together. So his eye contact, his focus is really, really good. Very engaged on Shelby because, well, he's motivated. He's getting fed. There you go. I think I know what he's looking at. The water.
I'd be thirsty wondering
Yeah.
all this dry stuff.
Right. Yeah. Good.
Awesome.
Good. Guys, that may not look like a complete and total success as far as getting the muzzle on the dog, but that's how you start this. You start this very, very slow. Now we're going to do a follow-up here in about an hour. We'll come back and do another one with Tank. You'll see that the actual process of him touching the muzzle takes a lot less time on the second round, and possibly by the third or fourth round, he's running up 10 feet away to put his nose in the muzzle so that you'll take it off. That'll be the expectation at that point. So, any questions, or if you guys like to contact us, we love to talk about dogs, love to talk about training. Give us a shout. You can call me directly, 859-638-9693, or just leave us a message down below and ask for any of us to give you a call, and we'll be more than happy to do so. All right? Have a good day.